What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So those of us who were able to get a PlayStation 5 last week at launch and have been playing it since then have basically been beta testing the system. I mean, that's really how we can look at it now, with a lot of the issues that have popped up with some crashing, issues in rest mode, using external hard drives, and the list really goes on right now. But it looks like we have our first major system software update that has been released for the PlayStation 5. We'll go over that here today. Also, Nintendo has a big release out this year. Appears to be the last one for 2020, and wouldn't you know it, like a lot of these Switch games, it has now been leaked online. No spoilers here, but we'll go over all of that and more today, guys. As always, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button, helps out a ton. And if you're brand new here, hit that red subscribe button down below. And we're gonna start today with Animal Crossing. By far the most popular game, I would say, first party wise of the year, easily. And Nintendo has continued to support this game with different events throughout the year. Looks like we have 2 more events coming up, and they're also talking about a pretty big feature that people have been wondering about, which we'll start with right away. And that is the ability to transfer your island from one Switch to the other, or your profile. So just like your one villager able to move over to another Switch. That's a feature that will be available November 19th. There's more details on how to do this exactly on their website, but it was really good to see them talk about that and the ability to transfer your island over, as that's been something that's been brought up quite a bit. But let's talk about some of the events that they will be introducing as well with this update. They put out this full video here showcasing some of the different things you can do with these events. Now, we have Toy Day and Turkey Day coming up. Turkey Day obviously being kind of modeled after Thanksgiving, and then Toy Day being modeled after Christmas. Turkey Day will take place November 26th, and then Toy Day will take place on December 24th. Looks like there's all kinds of fun and interesting things you can unlock and collect, and they even have some of the different things you can do, like give presents to different villagers and also then receive one yourself. So again, this is Nintendo just continuing to support Animal Crossing with different events as they go through the year. It makes a lot of sense for them because the game keeps selling, so why not continue to add content and keep selling the game? It's gonna be their best-selling game probably after the holidays. I mean, this is something that people will probably buy with every Switch, just about, it seems anyway. I mean, Animal Crossing approaching 30 million after the holidays is very realistic. And even though Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is going to come with a Switch bundle, I still think Animal Crossing will end up passing it going into next year. Oh, and we had talked several times about a sequel to The World Ends With You. It's been a rumor for a bit, and then we had The World Ends With You, the remix that released on the Switch 2 years ago now. Wow, it's really been that long since that game came out. But they added some extra stuff there, seem to be hinting towards a sequel or something else after that game came out, and we might be getting very, very close to them finally revealing that. You can see this tweet here. This is from Miraculous saying, Square Enix opened a new teaser site for The World Ends With You. What could this be? Check back next week and take a look at that. Time limit within 7 days. There's a countdown timer, and people have been wondering, could this just be a mobile game? I mean, it could be. The World Ends With You did go to mobile, so I guess it's possible. The only issue with that is this appears to be from a division at Square Enix that would have worked on a console game. So I think this really might be the sequel to The World Ends With You for the Switch. Could even be for the PS4 alongside of it, sure, or PC. But that's exciting stuff for fans of The World Ends With You who have been waiting for something more from that series. I think this might be it, so we'll have to keep an eye on this for next week, and just hopefully it's not a mobile game. Again, I don't think it is. I'm kind of expecting a console game to be shown here. Also, Demon's Souls is probably one of the best PS5 games to pick up right now next to Spider-Man. Absolutely love the game, and it is a very faithful remake for the original Demon's Souls on the PlayStation 3, but leave it to Bluepoint to add something else in, and this has now been discovered that there is a secret door with a secret room in Demon's Souls that wasn't there originally, and this was spotted by several people going through the game after Area 1-3, the Tower Knight. You get through a certain door that is locked up, and you have to do a certain thing to get past it. I'm being careful with spoilers right now, but after you get past that part into a fairly difficult area to kind of navigate, there is a door that was not there originally. It's locked up. People are still trying to figure out how to even open the thing, but using photo mode, they've been able to kind of see through the door. It appears to have an item on the other side, which a lot of people are now speculating is maybe something kind of Easter egg like that Bluepoint has hidden on the other side an item maybe called something or named something after Bluepoint, or just some little nod towards them remaking the game. And now everyone's just trying to figure out how to open the door because it wasn't there in the originals. So there you go. People are now trying to figure out what to do here. And I'll tell you, the Demon's Souls community should have this figured out pretty quick. They don't really mess around. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with the PlayStation 5 and the first system software update that we've received from Sony after several reports of all kinds of issues. People are still scared, by the way, to put this system into rest mode, and that is a core functionality of the system itself. And there are still a lot of issues around just dealing with an external hard drive when storing just PS4 games. We can't even store PS5 games yet. So everyone got really excited when an update came out because people were thinking there could be extra functionality added. Maybe they work out some of the bugs, and we go right to the patch notes and, well, take a look at this screenshot here. Now, this update is labeled 20.0-22500. It is 866 megabytes in size, and the patch notes say the system software update improves system performance. Okay, so they probably weren't going to go down a list as to every bit of code that they fixed, but I was kind of hoping they would go into a bit more detail. Like, oh, we went ahead and fixed up crashes that we found were happening because of this, right? We went ahead, targeted that, figured out 866 megabytes is still a decent enough size system update where you figure something really substantial happened here. But from what I could tell on my end, and this is weird, and I've seen it go the opposite direction as well. Some have agreed with me, some have said, no, that didn't work for me. For me, the PS5, something I was even writing into my thoughts on the system was that my controller, my DualSense, wouldn't charge in rest mode from the front USB port for some weird reason. Then after the update, it started charging. And it was weird because it's not like I haven't turned it all completely off and unplugged it and then plugged it back in and double checked it there. And I'm talking about just the system in general because I've already transported it a few times. No, it just wouldn't work for some reason. After this update, all of a sudden the controller started charging. There have also been reports now that some backwards compatibility games are even loading faster. Days Gone being the biggest example. Unfortunately, a lot of people are still scared to put the system into rest mode and even test with external hard drives. So I think this was just an initial update for different bugs that they found before the system came out. Like, I don't even think this is related to anything that they've received in the last week or so from people who are playing it, because that would have been extremely quick. I mean, this could have been some errors that they found ahead of shipping, and they were like, all right, we're going to work on the patch now, and then push it, even ahead of the European launch, which is tomorrow, Thursday. So, hey, if you're in Europe and you're about to get the PS5, at least you'll get what would be the pre-launch patch, I guess, for you. And for all of us, we've just been, like I said, kind of beta testing the system. So I'm hoping the next patch comes pretty soon. I'm thinking maybe by the end of this month, we'll get another one. And maybe they actually go down a list of bug fixes that they've done, because this is mostly stuff on the back end, and they didn't even think to tell us much about it because it probably wasn't anything that we've really been experiencing much of. Like I said, they cleaned up some of the load times, it seems, and for some reason, mine now charges through the front USB port. So we'll see if they have any other updates for us, but there we go, our first major system update for the PS5. They improved overall stability. Oh, but you know what? Let me know in the comments if anything strange happened for your system like it did for me, where controllers would start charging from the front USB port after doing this update. Everyone right now is just kind of looking around, trying to figure out what this update exactly did, and they're just basically asking everyone if they noticed anything. Next up, let's talk about Age of Calamity. Now, this is a game that people are looking forward to in the Zelda community because it's going to tell the story of the Calamity Wars, and there's been a lot of interest and curiosity around how all of that went down, and there's a lot of excitement around being able to play as different characters in the game, and unfortunately, it looks like you're going to have to put the blinders on once again. I feel like we talk about this a lot with different Switch games, but I could see why this one in particular, with the story that it's based on, you might want to put like 2 blinders on or something for this one, because it has now leaked online. And I first heard about this and people were talking about it. I said, okay, well, let me go verify. So I was able to verify, yes, it has leaked online. And if you see any threads pop up that are talking about spoilers for the game and you're confused because the game's not out yet, no, it really is out there. People are downloading this game left and right currently, and It's, again, something Nintendo is dealing with when it comes to their Switch titles. Now, they have done some work, and I saw Michael Sires talk about this a little bit on Twitter, that a lot of the newer Switches that are coming out now are almost impossible to hack. So Nintendo has done a lot of work to get that figured out. Unfortunately, there are still like 20 million Switch systems out there that if a game will end up breaking street date, it's probably going to get ripped and then dumped online, and there's probably a couple million people who can then just play it. Now, not every Switch has been hacked that's out there. Some people don't care to go through all of that, and that's fine, obviously, but there are going to be quite a few people who look into those first-generation Switch systems, dump games online, and then they just get downloaded, and to be honest, a lot of things just get spoiled. It's hard at times to even scroll through Twitter without seeing some kind of meme or something online that might even spoil the game for you. It really is like that right now with Age of Calamity. And then it gets even worse technically for people trying to avoid spoilers when data mining starts to happen. That's also been happening now. So we've been able to see things like the entire roster of playable characters in the game, a lot of the story events even coming out, models of different characters from the end of it. So yeah, you're going to want to be careful out there, and here's hoping that next time we get a Switch going into the next generation, Nintendo tightens up on security a bit more when it comes to this kind of stuff, because this seems to happen every single time. We can't even get a hold of a Switch game, and then, you know, people online are already data mining the thing like a week before the game comes out. So it's something Nintendo is basically dealing with this entire generation. And again, it's tough for people who are trying to avoid spoilers, especially with something like the Calamity Wars. But just a couple of more days, be careful out there, avoid any threads that say spoilers on it for Age of Calamity, because they really are out there and people really are playing through the game and even looking through the code. Next up, let's talk about CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk 2077, one of the most delayed games ever. It's been delayed several times now, but I have good news for you. It does appear that it really will be coming out December 10th, and there's been some marketing and promo material popping up now online. You can see on Reddit, for example, this picture here, where a person has a picture of it actually appearing in the store with different marketing and promo material saying company I work for has just been sent all this promo stuff. It's coming out on the 10th. And to go a little further than that, it appears that some of the retail box has shown up online, with it even saying that it has 2 different Blu-ray discs inside and coming in at about 70 gigabytes on the PlayStation 4, with PlayStation 4 Pro enhancements on the back of the box there as well. And yes, 2 Blu-ray discs kind of reminds me of that Red Dead Redemption 2 release, and this is something that CD Projekt Red would do. They probably don't want to push this massive download at you if they can help it, but trust me, I'm sure there will still be a fairly sizable day one patch just to make sure the whole thing even works on, I guess, the Xbox One S. That's going to be fun to see. Now, we did get a bunch of gameplay, like a full gameplay video from CD Projekt Red that was switching between the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series X. And you know what? The Xbox One X looked pretty good. Now, the Series X was fine also, but this was through YouTube and 1080p, and it was compressed and all this through streaming, so I'm excited to see what it looks like on the Series X. That's probably where I'm going to be picking it up first and see how it looks on a nice 4K set and all this. Sure to look awesome. I'm sure the game is going to be very, very good. It's just been pushed back so many times now. It was falling into kind of meme status online, but the one that I'm really curious about, and I know why they didn't show it because probably wouldn't be a good representation of the game, that is the regular Xbox One, the VCR or the Xbox One S. How does that version run? Because there have been a lot of rumors around that being one of the things that's kind of holding them up a bit. Sure, it's been denied, but like, they didn't show it here, and that's the one that when Digital Foundry starts talking about, you know, oh, here's how the Series X does with it, here's how the PlayStation 5 does with it, I'd be like, how's that original Xbox One do with Cyberpunk? Because that game seems massive for that system. But at least it seems now we'll have 2 different Blu-rays, one with an install disc, I'm sure, one with the play disc that you pop in, like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Red Dead Redemption, 70 gigabytes, and December 10th looks very, very likely now, so good news there. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Halo Infinite and how it apparently will not be at the Game Awards. I really wasn't expecting it to be at the Game Awards because it was like just delayed, so it would seem strange for them to put it at the Game Awards, but this was something that was brought up over on Reddit by the Halo community manager, and they said, "The team is heads down working through nearly every facet of the game. Taking time away from that to work on a demo for the Game Awards, something which, of course, was never planned for as the game was due to be released already, would only hold up 343's work further. We are hoping to offer at least a high-level update within the next few weeks so we can kind of restart this journey together after the holidays." Yeah, they really don't need to do much for the Game Awards. In fact, they don't have to show us anything Halo Infinite for the rest of this year, because if they rushed the one that we saw during that Xbox event, that was the word. It was like an older build. It was like rushed. It wasn't completely ready, which is weird because the game's been in development for a while anyway. I don't know why that would have to be rushed. The one at the Game Awards would definitely be rushed because they weren't even expecting to have one yet, as they say here. So yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I think people were expecting it there because the Game Awards is generally the last big place you would have some sort of announcement for this year. I think it's better that they put out some sort of blog post, which is probably what this big high-level update will be. It's just going to be them posting something to set us up for the roadmap of 2021, and that could very well include them separating the multiplayer and the campaign and releasing the multiplayer as some sort of beta or a test flight or something just to get Halo Infinite out in some capacity in 2021. But I still think probably the best case scenario is Halo Infinite to come out holiday 2021 and could even slip to 2022. Something about this situation just feels off with Halo Infinite, and the fact that it was supposed to already be out and we're not even sure when it's coming out now is concerning. But yeah, nothing at the Game Awards. We'll keep an eye out for this update coming up that'll probably just be a blog post, and then here's hoping they provide a roadmap for 2021 and that it's not coming out like 3 years from now or something. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from Yek saying, "Pushing Halo Infinite back was a big brain move by Microsoft. The systems are sold out anyway. Releasing Halo now would have been wasted hype. No need to release a system seller if there are no systems left that could be sold." And if this was the traditional Microsoft, and what I mean by that is if this was the original Xbox or the 360 or the Xbox One, you'd be right. Technically, they would sell out without Halo. I mean, they've done it since the original Xbox with the 360 and the Xbox One. However, this isn't traditional Microsoft. They don't necessarily care about how many Series X or S systems they sell, even though sometimes they'll talk about how it's the best-selling Xbox, which they did recently. What they really want to do is sell Game Pass. Like, that's what they want to do. So Halo Infinite's hype would not have gone to waste because they still would have sold xCloud subscriptions, which would have been Game Pass Ultimate subscriptions. Really, that's all they're looking to do. So even if this came alongside the Series X is sold out, wouldn't matter too much to them because they would probably still be selling tons of Game Pass subscriptions because you wouldn't even have to pay for Halo, full price for Halo then. You would pay $15 for the subscription and then also get a bunch of other games next to it. They're going to keep releasing games that just try to get you to sign up to their subscription service and stay with them for an entire generation, legitimately paying $15 a month. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit the like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today, whether it's Age of Calamity leaking out online. It's a shame. Nintendo really can't seem to stop these Switch games leaking out ahead of time, which in turn ends up putting spoilers all over the internet, which can be pretty annoying to anyone trying to avoid them. It is tough out there right now on the internet with Age of Calamity. Like I said, another day or so, just hold strong out there. And then the PlayStation 5 getting its first big software update. When do you think the next one's gonna come, and what's the first thing they need to fix? Is it rest mode? Is it the external hard drive? Do you need more NVMe storage with that slot being activated? Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.